If the cutter is dull, leaving large burrs while cutting, or missing several teeth, it will need to be replaced. To replace the cutter, you will need a 9/64 inch Allen wrench, a 5/32 inch Allen wrench, a 1/2 inch open-end wrench, a 3/4 inch box wrench, and the replacement cutter. Always start by unplugging the machine. Use the 9/64 inch Allen wrench to loosen the 2 Allen screws that hold the cutter cover in place. Be sure not to completely remove the screws, as they are difficult to put back into place. Once both screws are loosened, pull the cutter cover forward and remove it. Use the 5/32 inch Allen wrench to remove the Allen screw that holds the brush cover in place. Then remove the brush cover. Be sure that the carriage is sitting all the way to the left. This will allow access to the cutter nut. Now place the 1/2 inch open-end wrench on the flat of the cutter shaft between the cutter and the brush. Now place the 3/4 inch box wrench on the cutter nut. Note that the nut holding the cutter in place uses a left-handed thread. Raise both wrenches up until the wrench on the cutter nut comes into contact with the cutter housing. Now push up on the 1/2 inch wrench towards the rear of the machine until the nut breaks loose. Completely remove the cutter nut. Now remove the external cutter washer and the old cutter. The internal cutter washer can remain in place. Now place the new cutter onto the shaft. The side of the cutter with the arrows needs to be facing left. Next, put the external washer back in place. Now hand thread the cutter nut onto the shaft until it is finger tight. Now place the 3/4 inch box wrench on the cutter nut. Note that the nut holding the cutter in place uses a left-handed thread. Now rotate the wrenches downward until the 3/4 inch wrench comes into contact with the cutter housing. Continue to push down on the 1/2 inch wrench until the cutter nut is tight. Put the brush cover back in place. Secure it with the Allen screw using the 5/32 inch wrench. Now place the cutter cover back into position and tighten the 2 retaining screws with the 9/64 Allen wrench. Replacement of the cutter is now complete. Now it is time to adjust the calibration of the machine.